Here's something nobody tells you when you move into an apartment or a house with a tiny yard. The trees that struggle the most in the ground are often the ones that thrive the hardest in a pot. I've spent years testing which trees actually survive, not just limp along, but genuinely thrive, in containers on patios, balconies, and tiny side yards. Today, I'm ranking the top 10, and number 1 on this list is a tree most people assume needs a full-blown orchard to grow. It doesn't. Stick with me to the end, because the bonus tip is the difference between a tree that survives and a tree that actually thrives. If this is your first time here, welcome. This channel is built around one simple idea. You don't need acreage to grow something real. If you've got 4 square feet of sun, you've got enough. Before we get into the list, go ahead and hit subscribe and turn on notifications. New videos drop every week, and they're all built around getting the most out of small spaces. Okay, let's get into it. Number 10, the dwarf pomegranate. Most people write off pomegranates because they picture a sprawling 15-foot tree. The dwarf varieties, look for Nana or State Fair, are a completely different plant. They top out under 4 feet, and they're genuinely one of the hardest trees to kill in a container. Here's the part that surprises people. Pomegranates don't fight container life, they lean into it. Their root system is naturally compact, so instead of struggling against the walls of a pot, the tree redirects that energy into fruit. A 15 to 20 gallon container is plenty. Zone-wise, they'll live outside year-round in zone 7 and up. Anywhere colder, just bring it in before the first hard frost and set it near a window. It'll pick right back up in spring. And once it's established, you can genuinely forget to water it for a stretch, and it won't hold a grudge. That kind of forgiveness is rare in a fruiting tree. Number 9, the fig tree. This is the tree that taught me containers aren't a compromise. Sometimes they're an upgrade. Figs actually prefer a slightly restricted root zone. Fight that instinct to upsize the pot every year, and the tree rewards you with an earlier, heavier crop than most in-ground figs ever produce. For cold climates, Chicago Hardy is the variety to know. It can die back to the ground in a brutal winter and still push out new growth and fruit that same season. Nothing else on this list bounces back from damage quite like a fig does. One trick worth remembering: ease off watering slightly while the fruit is ripening. The mild stress concentrates the sugars, and the difference in flavor is noticeable. It's one of those rare gardening tips that costs nothing and actually works. Number 8, the dwarf olive. This one surprises people every time, because most folks see an olive tree and assume it's strictly ornamental. The Arbequina variety changes that assumption fast. It stays compact enough for a 15 to 20 gallon pot, it's self-pollinating, and it produces real, usable olives. But survival is really the headline here. Olive trees evolved in some of the harshest, driest terrain on the planet. Overwatering is the only thing that really threatens them. Drought barely slows them down. If you've killed plants before because you forgot to water on vacation, this is the tree that forgives that mistake. They also need a stretch of winter chill to fruit well, so an unheated garage or sunroom over winter actually works in your favor. And unlike most trees on this list, an olive tree can live for centuries. The one you pot up this year could outlast you. Number 7, the bay laurel. Quick pause. If this list is useful so far, drop a comment telling me what zone you're growing in. I read every one, and it genuinely shapes what I cover next. Now, bay laurel is the one entry on this list that isn't really about fruit at all, and I think that's exactly why it deserves a spot. It's one of the toughest evergreen trees you can grow in a container, and it quietly saves you money every time you'd otherwise reach for a $3 jar of dried bay leaves at the store. It handles trimming well, which makes it ideal for tight balconies. You can shape it into a small standard or a tidy column. It tolerates a wide range of conditions, bounces back from neglect, and stays attractive through every season. In colder zones, bring it in for winter. Otherwise, it's remarkably low maintenance outside. Number 6, the blueberry bush. Technically a shrub, but it earns its spot because almost nobody grows it correctly, and the fix is almost embarrassingly simple. Blueberries need acidic soil, somewhere around 4.5 to 5.5 pH. Standard potting mix sits closer to neutral, which is why so many in-ground blueberry plants slowly fade for reasons nobody can identify. In a container, you control that completely. Use an azalea or rhododendron mix, or blend in plenty of peat moss, and you've built the exact environment the plant wants. Varieties like Top Hat stay under 18 inches, which makes them perfect for a small balcony rail or a cluster of pots by a doorway. The real survival advantage here is mobility. Too much afternoon sun, roll it to shade. Late frost in the forecast, pull it against the house. You can't do that with anything planted in the ground. Number 5. The kumquat. This is the most underrated tree on this entire list, and I genuinely think it's because most people don't know what to do with it. You eat the whole fruit, skin and all, and the contrast is unexpected. Sweet skin, tart flesh. It's nothing like biting into an orange. What earns it a top 5 survival ranking is cold tolerance. Kumquats are the toughest citrus you can grow, handling brief dips down into the mid-teens Fahrenheit. That means gardeners in Zone 7, places with real winters, can keep a kumquat alive in a container against a south-facing wall with minimal extra protection. No other citrus on this list comes close to that. Look for Nagami or Meiwa. Keep it in a 10 to 15 gallon pot and expect a tree that looks almost ornamental once it's loaded with fruit. Number 4. The Columnar Apple. If you've only got a couple feet of space, this is the tree that makes apples possible at all. Columnar apples grow straight up, 8 to 10 feet tall but only about 2 feet wide, with fruiting spurs along the trunk instead of spreading branches. Varieties like North Pole or Golden Sentinel are the proven performers. What makes them genuinely good survivors in pots is how easy they are to monitor. You can inspect every inch of the tree in minutes, which means you catch pests and disease early, long before they'd ever be noticeable on a full-size tree where the top half is out of reach. Line up 2 or 3 different varieties, and you get staggered ripening from late summer into fall, all from a footprint smaller than a side table. Number 3. The dwarf cherry. Cherries have a reputation for being difficult, but that reputation mostly comes from in-ground growing, where birds strip a tree bare overnight and there's nothing you can do about it. In a container, that problem nearly disappears. You can throw netting over a potted cherry tree in minutes. Romeo and Juliet are the varieties to look for. They're tart cherry types, and they're also some of the most cold-hardy fruit trees you can grow, comfortable down into Zone 3. If you're somewhere with serious winters, this is one of the few fruiting trees that won't even blink. Beyond the fruit, the spring bloom alone is worth the pot space. Clouds of white and pink blossoms well before any fruit shows up. Number 2. The Meyer Lemon. Most fruit trees give you a season. The Meyer Lemon doesn't follow that rule. It's everbearing, which means flowers, green fruit, and ripe lemons can all be on the tree at once, any time of year. Look specifically for the improved Meyer Lemon. The original carried a virus that's since been bred out, and the improved version is what you'll find at any reputable nursery now. A 10 to 15 gallon pot is plenty, and in zones 6 through 8, you simply move it outside for the warm months and bring it in for winter. It tolerates that shuffle better than almost any other fruit tree. And the survival trick worth knowing: you don't need specialty citrus fertilizer. A balanced, slow-release fertilizer plus a monthly dose of Epsom salt dissolved in water covers everything this tree needs. If you've made it this far, you clearly care about getting real food out of a small space, and that's exactly what this channel is for. Hit subscribe so you don't miss next week's video. Now, the one you've been waiting for. Number 1. The Dwarf Banana. This is the twist nobody expects. A banana plant looks tropical and fragile, like something that belongs in a greenhouse, not on a survival list. But the dwarf and super dwarf Cavendish varieties are some of the toughest, fastest, most forgiving container plants you can own. As long as you respect one rule: bring it inside before the cold hits. That's really the whole secret. Outdoors, it grows fast and produces a genuine bunch of full-size bananas, often within 18 months to 2 years. The moment nighttime temperatures threaten to drop, you move it in, it goes semi-dormant, and it picks right back up in spring like nothing happened. No other plant on this list recovers from a seasonal transition that smoothly. And once the main stem fruits and dies back, it sends up new shoots called pups, meaning one banana plant quietly turns into several, for free. Bonus: 3 mistakes killing your container trees. Mistake 1. Dark pots in full sun. A black plastic container in direct summer sun can heat the soil inside well past 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Roots start dying at that point, silently, long before you see it in the leaves. Switch to light-colored containers, fabric grow bags, or terracotta. Mistake 2. Never flushing the soil. Tap water leaves behind mineral salts every time you water. Over months, that buildup mimics a nutrient deficiency, so people respond by fertilizing more, which makes it worse. Every few months, run water through the pot until it flows freely from the drainage holes for a couple of minutes. That flush resets the soil. Mistake 3. Feeding a stressed tree. When a tree looks bad, yellowing, dropping leaves, stunted growth, the instinct is to fertilize it. Don't. A stressed root system can't process fertilizer, and the added salts usually make the decline worse. Only feed a tree that's actively growing and visibly healthy. That's the list. 10 trees that don't just survive in pots and small spaces, they genuinely thrive in them. Tell me in the comments which one you're starting with and what zone you're growing in. If this helped, subscribe so you catch next week's video. I'll see you in the next one.